All right. One thing I want to ask you is, are you happy with your life? Okay? And how do you know? So, the first 10 years of my life, I would say I wasn't happy with it. It took me a long time to figure it out. And I'm going to show you things out of the bag that represents my past, present, and future. All right, so the first thing out of my past is flex cuffs. Okay, I used them all throughout my 20s, throughout Afghanistan, Iraq. You know, what this represents is restriction. So, I was constantly deployed, restricted, as far as my free time. So, for 10 years, I was on the military's time, always pushing for success, and I gave up on what I thought was happiness. All right, the second part of this is I was restricted to society's label of success. So what was success? You know, was it having a great job, a good money? You know, I was measuring my success off my peers who weren't in the military. You know, they didn't have their own houses, they didn't have expensive sports cars. You know, I was very labeled by what society wanted, and, you know, having a gun safe full of guns, you know, being able to buy whatever I wanted. I thought I was happy, but I really wasn't. You know, I was happy with the job, you know, I was happy with everything, but I just didn't know how to tie it all together. So 10 years constantly at war, being competitive in my career, you know, pushed me in a way that I thought was happy, but I really wasn't. So bring it to my second item, which is now. An altimeter. All right, this thing's used to measure time, free fall, let you know when to pull your parachute. So about after 10 years, a buddy of mine took me skydiving. Hanging outside the door, you see the curvature of the earth, the wind's blowing in your face, you're 14,000 feet above the ground, and we let go. And as soon as I let go of the plane, it was almost like every stress, every worry finally just left my body. So I was no longer stressed about things anymore. Here I am just falling through the air, and I realized for the first time, you know, I'm not thinking, what do I have to do today? You know, did I leave the garage door open? Like, everything's gone. So for the first time, I actually found something that brought almost inner peace to me. Now, some of you are thinking, like, you're falling 130 miles an hour through the air. You're finding inner peace there. So, you know, parachute opens up. It opens up in this big, huge white cloud. I have this cloud all around me. I can't see anything. It's probably, I realize, this is the most alone that anyone could ever be. You know, so here I am self-reflecting in this big, huge white cloud. And then more metaphorically, I relate this piece is judging time. You know, I look at this as I'm falling, when I got to pull my parachute before I impact the ground. You know, at this time, I'm 32 years old. You know, how much more time do I have to find happiness and take advantage of it? So that's the current state I am. The third place that I'm going to take is the GPS. You know, this tells me where I am right now, and this is telling me where I'm going. So where I'm at right now, I've learned to balance work, stress, and how to take time for myself and to be truly happy. Okay? And hopefully this will show me in the future where I'm going to maintain that and not get back into a rut to where possessive items start controlling me, you know, wanting a $70,000 sports car, you know, all these fine things, because what I've learned is those things do not bring you happiness. It's finding something that you're truly passionate about and balancing it. You know, because one day we'll hang up this uniform, and what will we have to show for it? Will it be an empty house full of just metal and plastic that's worth a lot of money? Or will you have like true feelings towards something, a family that you're passionate about? You know, so this is very much just a tool. Don't let it consume you, and don't let, you know, what society thinks makes you happy is where you should gear your life towards. So, are you happy, and how do you know?